On some days, checking out a couple of people on the Explore feed and just trying a couple of things and seeing a couple of interesting posts and oh yeah, there's a new camera and oh wow, there's a bear doing something. But it just is such an endless scroll. One photo after the next, the videos, the photos, it just never ends. And I think we all know that that's pretty much a problem of society nowadays, of most everybody who has a smartphone. But now there's a little bit of a shift. Applications are starting to show us how long we've been using them and maybe even warn after a certain amount of time. I've seen YouTube and Instagram do this. And I also see that iOS, the next version that is going to be released probably end of September, that's how most of these iOS releases work, even that shows us how much time we spend in any given application. And it's kind of sad for other applications that have done exactly that. They've been like calculating how much time you've spent in that app based on how much battery you've used it and stuff like that. Those are going to go away, at least for this specific feature, because iOS by default has this function now that it can tell you how much time you've spent in any given app over the course of a week or a day. On top of that, it also will come with the ability to block applications in certain time frames. Just like Do Not Disturb is able to make this function during the nighttime, for example, you can set up a time frame where you don't want to be able to access certain applications. And that's really, really cool. There's two ways that can be handled. One is that it actually just basically locks you out, and then you can decide to either give yourself 15 minutes of use in that application and it will remind you in 15 minutes again, or the alternative is that you can say you want to have the app open for the rest of the day. But this locking function, it's not only a game changer for people that want to control themselves, but also obviously if you have children and you want to allow them, let's say, half an hour of YouTube per day, then you can actually do that, and it's locked with a code that you cannot just bypass it. And the same thing is true for yourself. And if self-control is a hard thing for you, maybe even setting it up with a partner, that your partner knows the code for this lock mechanism and you yourself don't, maybe that is the step that we nowadays have to take to actually lock ourselves out of our own phones to control what we do with them. In a past article, I've talked about the mechanism to turn your phone black and white, which is already a really helpful tool. This feature to make the iPhone black and white is actually a feature that is in the accessibility features, and it has been there for a long time, so it's pretty much on all of the iPhones that are out there. But the funny thing is, black and white photos or even notification badges that are usually red, in black and white they're much less intimidating, much less attention grabbing. And these kind of mechanisms, the screen time, that you know how much time you spent there, the lock mechanism that you can lock yourself out of applications after a certain amount of time or in certain time frames. So it's like when you want to sleep after 10, for example, don't allow any applications that are social media or chat or email or work related. And also making your phone black and white can help with this kind of like situation that we are so addicted to these devices. And I know that I definitely am. It's a huge problem for me to control myself and say, okay, let's just do 10 minutes of Instagram, for example, or just 15 minutes of a YouTube video, and then just put it away and start working again. This kind of rhythm, finding that kind of control and limiting myself to certain amounts of time is something that I have been working on, and I still work on that. And I kind of hope that these tips and ideas, they might help you to kind of control yourself more and get back to what you actually want to do. I hope this kind of rant about social media and device addiction might help you to kind of uncover certain abilities and features in your phone or even in other devices to kind of control yourself better and get back to what you actually want to do. It's definitely still a journey for me to find my own self-control and pull out of those social networks faster and to actually get back to what I want to do. But I think there's an interesting self-discovery happening all around this as well, which is basically why are we even so addicted to this kind of social network mechanism, to more photos and all this. And I know that the social networks themselves, they're working hard to actually grab our attention more and keep it for longer. Let's just find ways around these kind of issues by, for example, making your phone black and white or knowing how much time you actually spend on those applications. Because in the end, I'm pretty sure you don't want to just spend your time in your social networks. Go out there, grab your camera, grab your devices, sit down and do what you want to do. Just like I mentioned yesterday, every day a little bit will already help, and every day a little less social media will go a long way as well. With that being said, stay tuned for tomorrow's video. Be awesome, like and subscribe, comment your thoughts, and I will see you tomorrow again with another video.